So, to the main question of this episode, have you ever ended friendships? Why? How exactly? And all that. My answer would be I probably never actually officially ended a friendship.
Closure, you know me. I'm all into closure.
Well, one guy said, yeah, if a person is completely fucked up, what's there left to do? Yeah, you probably shouldn't be friends anymore.
Can you say that ghosting is ending?
Well, and they became friends because there was nothing else to do.
Shift happens.
Shift happens.
Happens. Shift happens.
Hi, darling. How messy is your
Hello.
place?
Why we are starting from that point is I just discovered that why the frame we are recording, not only the smaller one, and so you can see all my mess here. This is new for me. I'm learning. You are a pro podcaster, and I am a pro disaster. Let's call it so.
I'm just, okay being a mess and okay being around the mess. But today I'm using the good sides of my hotel room because I'm greeting you from amazing Vienna. And it's lovely here.
You are in Vienna.
Yes, I am. And you can
Oh.
see a piece of Vienna that doesn't actually tell you anything about Vienna.
What are the
Anyway,
reasons for you to be in Vienna? Are there
absolutely
any
no
spicy
reasons.
reasons? Oh.
Well, some. As always.
But
Yeah,
that's
and another.
not the topic of our podcast.
Yeah, that's another podcast. All the
But it
spicy
should
reasons.
be actually. It should be. I'm getting interested. What are you doing in Vienna? I didn't know that you are going to Vienna.
Really? Didn't you?
Mm-mm.
Please. So yeah, that's that. But like the key spicy reason is people, if you're suffering with your visas and you're just looking for places to quickly escape for the weekend, Vienna is gonna be your place. Lovely, 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 lovely. Palaces everywhere. It's just living like living in a museum, really.
Okay. I've never been to Vienna actually. I've never been to Austria.
Oh my.
And it's quite close from Poland actually. People drive there by car. Not super close, obviously, but yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your first time there, yeah?
I've been
there
here quite a
before.
couple of times. So I used to do this quite a lot. I used to do this weekend escapes, I called them. And my top destinations, I don't know why, maybe just because of the price really and like because of how easy it was to get here, were Berlin and Vienna. And Vienna is just the place. I don't know. I love it.
Okay.
Matches with me.
For me,
somehow.
the two things I'm thinking are balls and
It was like
cheesecakes. That's
the balls.
not balls, like the balls, like the fancy clothing, and like people dancing around balls.
Have you ever been to a ball?
No. It's not my
Me?
cup of
Twice.
tea. Not my cup. Oh my god, no.
Yeah,
How
as ridiculous as it sounds.
Friends. No, I'm kidding with you. So you did all the fancy stuff like the gown.
Well, I rented a dress.
All
Another
right.
time I bought a dress. Yeah, 10 centimeter heels and everything was there. Can you believe? I can't. Yeah, so that's me. And
We
the
have
balls.
this party after last year of high school. It's 100 days before the maturity exam, so we call it
Immaturity party.
100-day party, like
Oh, okay.
Studniówka. So it's, I think,
Studnia.
it might be the last time I was on, like the party like that.
Whoa,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah. So no, we had one. Sorry, we had one in the middle of our university. Yes, so like there is half of the of your not semester of your whole studies
Like whole stuff,
party.
okay.
Yeah, but it was less formal, I would say. I wasn't wearing such a flashy gown like I was for this 100-day party. No, it's not for me. But I would love to see the pictures, Ira.
I will dig out some. They
Yes,
are quite
please.
old,
Yes,
but yes,
please.
there are some.
Maybe my heart will flutter somehow and I will see myself going to Vienna.
Yeah, and the ball.
But I can't see my husband going there. So if I will ever
Oh,
find
he will have to dress
myself-
up as well. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yes, but if I will ever find myself willing to do so, you will be my plus one because he will never go with me.
Okay, we are going to the ball, and we're like 5 minutes into the podcast. I congratulate you on all the wild ideas that we have.
Yeah. It's good that we're starting from, funny note, because I think this one will be serious.
Yeah, we
This
aim
one
for
will be
some serious
serious.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's
serious
nice.
because what are we
Yeah,
talking about? We're talking about ending friendships.
yeah. So it's a full circle. We started with how to start friendship, how to maintain it. We talked about conflicts. I think I missed one episode. We did something. There was also the intro episode. It's like we just were
Yeah,
blah blah
just
blahing
chatting.
for the 1 hour. So thank you for listening to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but this is full circle. So this is the end of friendship, and what does it mean, and how it ends. A lot of stuff uh, going there. I think every adult has some history of some friendship ending. Also, research shows that every year you lost someone. Maybe not every year, but gradually the number of friends you have just disappears. So we need to deal with that today.
Inevitable stuff.
Yeah, I have a good weather outside, so it's rainy. So I think that's the right
It's
mood.
sunny over here, but I mean, I'll
Oh,
try
okay.
to tone it down a bit just for the occasion. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, I don't know. I've been thinking that lately the thing with just ending um, important relations in your life is kind of, well, something that I think about a lot. And
Mm.
obviously,
I'm all into closure. You know me. I'm all into closure. Like
yes.
ending
And
is important part. Yeah. Yeah.
closures never come easy. I don't know, in my
Mm.
experience. So I beg this idea that closures are hard, but you need to live through them to move further, right? And then I kept thinking that I've never really had closures when it came to ending friendships. So, to
Mm.
the main question of this episode, have you ever ended friendships? Why? How exactly? And all that? My answer would be I probably never actually officially ended a friendship. What's your situation?
I think if someone listened to all our episodes, the answer is clear.
They would know by now that you'd be the
They
one
would know
to
by now.
actually do
Yeah.
that.
So I did. Yes, I did. I did. I have experience with not ending it properly or not ending it at all. So some of the friendships just disappeared. Uh, Maybe not ghosting, but just don't putting any effort into the closure from my side as well. But I have one important friendship that that ended. I ended it formally. Oh my god! And I have also a story when the friendship was on a brink of of
Yeah.
you know of final closure, and we did reconciliate somehow. Not even through like the talk or something. It just we there was a conflict. I did talk about this last time. So I had a conflict. I think I was at fault on many parts of that. But then somehow through the circle of friendship, we did get back to being close. So I have also the reconciliation story to share, I would say.
But tell me,
Yeah,
when
but
you say that
yeah.
I officially ended a friendship, really, how was it? So you bring the person to the table, you
Oh
cry a
my.
bit, then you formally
No, I
sign that
didn't.
this
I
friendship
didn't cry. I
has
didn't cry.
ended, and then you part
Yeah.
ways. Like,
I was
uh,
cold, bitch. I was cold, bitch.
no, I love you for that.
Um,
So, okay,
yeah.
but how?
So I think okay. So very important part. I do respect that person after many years that
Okay.
that passed. I really wish him. That's a him. I wish him all good luck and hope he's happy. But at that point, we were dealing with some. Hmm, how to call it. I don't want to, put too many details because I think that's very personal, and
Hmm.
he's not in the room, and I didn't talk to him about this, so I don't want to disclose too much. But we had a discussion about something, and we had very different views on that, and part of his needs and what he wanted from me was, and it wasn't about any romantic, so there was no romantic involvement, pure friendship. um and part of what he wanted uh, was taking too much from me, as it
Ooh.
was invading me as a person, my well-being. And because he didn't recognize that, and he didn't recognize that he's pushing, and what he needs can actually be harmful to me. hmm, at some point I told him that it's enough, that he put himself above me,
Hmm.
and obviously you always should put yourself first, but in the same time you cannot disrespect or hurt someone else in the process. And I think that was from my perspective. I think if you would have him in the room and talk to him, he would say like that his needs was important at that point and he has the right to it. So I can see, like my husband would say, Maria, you are too soft right now. It was all
Okay.
his fault. So like my circle would say something else, but I can see that usually there is no black and white scenarios. Usually, I don't mean, toxic relationship when someone is, I don't know, abusing power or something like that. But generally, we as a human beings have different perspectives and different goals. And his goal at that point were very, very self-centered. And I said, stop. And I did it in a very mm, bold way, I would say, because we did the final. It was related to business. Oh, I think that's important detail. It was related to business. We were doing. So we did the final discussion around it, how we're gonna split some stuff, how we're gonna
Mm.
move around
Ouch.
things. Yes, and at the end of this discussion, when we signed all the papers, I said, okay, so this is our final day as a friends. From now on, we are not friends anymore.
Wow.
I wish you good luck, but this is it for me.
Tell me, when you said that, did you realize that, or like, did you decide that you're gonna keep him as an acquaintance? So he's gonna be
No.
somewhere in
There
your
was
life,
no,
or
no,
he's
there
just gonna
was
be.
no. It was like we did have a contact because some stuff occurred later on, and we just needed to share some information. And yeah, and as I said, I do respect him. Like
Hmm.
I do respect the story we had together. Like there was many years of friendship and doing a lot of projects together, and I had many good memories, and I didn't see that the last chapter of that relationship override everything else we did together. I didn't see it as that. I just saw it that in that moment it was too much.
Hmm.
And I think what's important, because like why there was no space for, I don't know, like forgiving or discussing this. I think because what I noticed, it's not about one time need or one time, conflict. Let's call it conflict
Oh,
we
that's
had.
like
It's not.
consistent behavior, right?
It's more like the change. I saw
Oh,
like something change on his side and something change on my side in quite short period of time. Like I thought my change was, I'm setting my boundaries, and his
okay.
change was, I'm starting a new life and I want this life to be different. So I didn't see from that point how we could come back to what it was. I think it, yeah. So that's why I thought, when I had this realization, it's a bit similar to ending a job, I would say.
Okay.
Because sometimes you think, you wonder if you are still, have a place to grow and that. But once you say stop, I think it's easier. Actually, sometimes it doesn't happen in relationships so often, but every time I did make a decision about changing my career somehow, about quitting,
Okay.
there is immediate relief. There is, like, for me, that's like,
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
And I think in that story, I also had that feeling that and this is why I knew that it's a good feeling, that it was the right decision, because it was sad, but in the same time I knew this is the right call. This is how it should end right now.
Okay. Because I obviously didn't officially end any friendships, and I think my case scenario is just we are growing apart with some people, and as people remember from our podcast, I'm the one avoiding conflict, right? So I'm not that person over there trying to get to the bottom of things and work things out by means of conflict. So to me, conflict is something
Yeah, but you could
terrible.
say that in that case, I didn't actually, try to solve it. Like, in my understanding, I was trying to solve it during that conflict that we were, but at some point I said, okay,
Yeah.
that
So it
ship
is what
has
it is. Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but so you can say that also I sometimes I don't do it. Just
Yeah.
so I
So
can actually 100% understand that sometimes you don't do it at all. Yeah.
I asked my friends on Instagram, have you ever
Mm.
ended friendships and why? And I got some pretty amazing results because, first of all, the quantity, the number of people who said yes to this question astonished me. And the reasons, well, were quite different, but some of them were about different values all of a sudden. So you sort of grow apart, and that's why you are no longer friends. Well, one guy said, yeah, if a person is completely fucked up, what's there left to do? Yeah, you probably shouldn't be friends anymore. Good decision, man. One of my friends said that she made this decision just literally a bunch of weeks or months ago, and that was her school friend, and they decided to not be friends anymore because the other one, the school friend, didn't take it lightly that my friend is a cursor. But the way she curses, and she uses the curse word, like she's not really a cursor, she does that really elegantly. And the other person all of a sudden started like playing this role of, oh my God, what kind of words are you using? So they stopped being friends immediately.
Really?
Lovely.
Really? Like as adult,
Like,
or it happened in high school, or as adult people? Like that
no,
was
it's
the
happened just
reason.
now. Yeah, and I mean, it was
Really?
something new that
Good
started
for you,
happening.
like you that you
So
lost
like,
this drama lady or whatever. Like really, someone like okay, like so we shouldn't judge. Here we are all about different perspective, crash zones, blah blah blah. Fuck you, the lady who stopped. Like I don't know who's that, but tell to your friends that she's better off, or if that's a she, but she's
yeah,
better
that's a
off
shame.
without this. Oh my god, that's such a bad word.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
all the drama and like princess vibes at the
No,
ball.
no.
Yes, I had
Language
to
is to be used, yeah.
stop being friends because I was trying to escape all the toxicity and endless negativity. Yes, I had to officially end the friendship when I realized we grew apart and I was growing and another person was not. Well, that's a bold statement. Yes, by means of ghosting. And that's really a shame. And like, that's really bad. But it was even more, shameful to keep being friends with that person because of the views. That was the
Okay,
final
but
comment. So I love
but
this
then
one. That really
yeah,
speaks to me.
okay, but then did you end it or not? Can you say that ghosting is ending? There is no lack of this act of closing something, finishing
You know
something. So
what? I
can you
have an
say
opinion
that
there.
ghosting is?
I think yes, because you make a decision to start ghosting a person. And you
Okay.
have your reasoning for ghosting a person. Maybe because it's just unpleasant for you to communicate with a person. Maybe because you're just, taking a step back, keeping distance with that person. Maybe
Have
so.
you ever been
Go on.
ghosted
Have I ever been ghosted?
in a friendship relationship?
Yeah, thank God. Like I haven't reached the lowest of the low, being ghosted in a proper relationship. Like that would be just. Oh my.
But that's interesting. So if you say that that's the lowest when you can get, that would be very, I don't know, shameful or something.
Yeah.
Why doing this to other?
Well, to me, ghosting in a relationship is somewhat different than ghosting like
Mm,
friends. And I mean, I'm
mm,
using the quotes because in that situation, you're not really sure that's real friendship or
mm,
it was something else. Uh, I don't think I have, but maybe I just didn't notice. Which it says it
mm.
all, really, right? If I haven't noticed, then well, so be it.
Okay. Okay.
And my good friend gave the best answer, I think, or the best reason to end the friendship. Yes, because she was hitting on my man. That's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
bottom line is there, right? So that's why
Yeah.
people actually ended friendships around me.
But what, with that story about men, I would like to hear more. Like, how was the guy responding?
Yeah, because there are so many sides
Mm.
to that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but it's not about relationships, romantic relationship. Our next podcast, our next season will be about romantic relationship. Please stay tuned. No, we don't know what the next season will be about yet. I
It
think.
might be though.
Uh, um, hmm. I wonder because people have those different reasons. So uh, it's interesting because I would say more people are ghosting than formally ending friendships, but we don't have the data, I think, for that.
Yeah,
But I would say that more people are ghosting. And I'm not sure we talked about this, but this is the huge difference between romantic relationship and friendships. Because with the romantic relationship, if someone is ghosting you, you can immediately tell, I would say, like, and it's hard to ghost you if you, I don't know, share the apartment together. Yes,
yeah.
you cannot ghost your partner if you live together. And with friendship, it might start very slowly. It might just start, you might not even notice it for some period of time, or someone might not notice it, because if you don't see someone very often, let's say you see someone once a month or once a quarter, if you start ghosting that person, the moment they will realize that they are ghosted might come in, I don't
It'll
know,
be like,
6
oh,
months. Yeah, I haven't seen that person for some time.
yeah, like what's up?
So and then it's, I think, after 6 months, it's hard to connect the dots. So it would be very hard to say, okay, we haven't seen each other, but why actually? What happened?
Yeah.
Now that's but I wonder, maybe you always know. Maybe you know.
Um.
Uh,
So again, like to your point, it's I think a very good illustration to the lack of effort.
mm.
So ghosting, essentially, what is ghosting? You just stop putting effort, and to me, it's like I'm protecting myself from. Mm,
But I would say there are two levels of ghosting,
oh,
and one
oh,
is, yeah, because one is, as you mentioned, that if you haven't noticed that, that means the friendship wasn't even there. So I imagine you start not doing any effort, and because on the other side there was no effort at all
yeah,
at that point, then nothing changes. You just stop seeing each other, but it's because you don't put an effort, and before you were the person doing that. But I wonder if you ever had the experience, and if you ever ghosted someone who was actually actively looking for contact with you, because that's a different story, because then the ghosting is very, you know uh visible, I would say. Like, you can feel it, the person can feel it, like you send text, oh, let's meet this weekend, or maybe the
yeah.
weekend after, and you're always busy, you always cannot attend. That's a true ghosting, I would say. That's a true ghosting. Like, not answering,
You know
not
what?
or not writing back on 10 of messages. You open the chat and there's 10 message from someone, and the other part doesn't write back. Did you have this kind of experience? Because I think that's brutal. I'm not saying unnecessary. Sometimes might be, because there are different reasons we don't want to be with someone. Also toxicity. But I wonder if you did have such experience.
Two things here.
Mm-mm.
I have such experience in my dating life,
Mm-mm.
but I think it's quite obvious, that's how the game is set. So when another side or another part is very much interested and you're just not feeling it, and you're okay with being friends with that person because, well, the guy might be nice, It's just that there's no spark or anything. And I think it's all right to sort of try to keep it down a bit and tone it down a bit. Yeah. And all those waves of communications. Let's go here. Let's meet up. Let's do that. How are you? Like, I don't know, 10 messages per hour. Well, that's too much. That's when you have to set the boundaries. On the friendship side of things, though.
Setting the boundaries and ghosting is different. Setting the boundaries is, being very verbal about, okay, that's too much for me. I'm not into that. That's different.
Well, in my case, there's a bit of ghosting because I never addressed that directly because, the person has done nothing wrong. And it's not, in my powers to tell the person, well, you know what, you're just not that, I don't know, sarcastic or successful or whatever I value, I don't know, like in, in a man. So, and I don't know, it's all right to be just a bit different. It's all right to understand that the relationship is not going to happen. So to me, just being like brutally open about, okay, this is not working. I mean, the guy will eventually understand and, we'll probably be on good terms because we might have, I don't know, common friends or whatever. So
I think that's what's important is that I'm behaving how I would like to be treated.
Yeah.
But truth to be told, not everyone would like to be treated the same way. So for some people, it might be the gentle way you are offering right now might be a better solution. For me, it would be why someone did waste so much of my time. Because, like if I was interested in a guy and I don't know, proposing to meet or something, and sometimes we do meet and sometimes we don't, and I don't understand the message. Maybe I'm just not clever enough. I would prefer to get a formal notice. This is Aunt Maria. Fuck off.
Okay.
So not waste any more time. Like, yeah, but that's me, and I think that that's also important. Like, I think many people behave how they would like to be treated, and if you do so, you don't see the other perspective. So I can imagine from what you are saying that it might be also a gentle and respectful way.
Yeah.
But please don't do it to me.
Yeah, I already gave you a pinky promise that I will never do anything related to ghosting to you. But to your point, and that's a very Christian idea. I think one of the values there says that okay, treat others how you want to be treated. And I think with me, I take it as a personal low blow when someone will take the courtesy of saying that, you know what, Ira, this is not working, so either go away or blah. I will understand. I will probably have understood all the signals before it gets to that point with another person. So to me, having this tangible, I don't know, text message saying that, that would be sad. That's why maybe I'm trying to avoid that. Maybe that's my, I don't know, psychological type.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. And I had another thought, on the friendship side of things. I actually ghosted someone who did a bit of a hurtful, impolite thing. And I was feeling quite low at that moment. And it was just an unnecessary kick, towards me. And I decided, and it was a decision, that I needed to step away for a bit to, do a bit of breathing and to reassess whether I really want to be friends or I want to be something else. Because the backstory of that is that I was putting quite a lot of efforts into this friendship being born. Because, it relates to me looking for new friends in a new place. So that was quite an important acquired friendship to be for me because we've been communicating friend dating for not a long time, and there was a bunch of people I was quite excited about. But it could be treated as a minor thing. It could be treated as a small thing. I don't get ditched a lot. So and that was about ditching, which I think is an act, right? So you make a decision of ditching someone and, not doing that quite nicely. And that's when I felt really hurt. And I decided that, okay, because we will be in the background of each other's stories anyways, because we are in this same group of people, in a new place. So I decided to step back, and I just didn't reply to any messages for quite a while, and I just was not communicating, and I was just trying to stay away from that and, you know, like seal that situation in a way.
And afterwards, like, do you think like that was a good decision? Like, this is.
Yes, I think it's a good decision because the person is trying to figure out the person's like life goals, and I think that at some point after that like teaching thing, I think that we really are looking for different things in life. So it doesn't make much sense to be like very, very close friends. It's okay being acquaintances, and I'm okay keeping it that way.
I think because we started like doing this distinction between, you know, like formally ending, you know, having a conversation, the moment in time when we finish, and ghosting. And there are also like other options
Yeah.
is like to end the friendship. Like I imagine sometimes this lack of effort from both sides, it's not ghosting, it's just life happens somehow, or, you know, all the stuff. And you just realize 1 year or second year, oh my God, I didn't call that person for the last 2 years, for example. And I was thinking, because for me, the conflict, we already talk about this. For me, conflict is not a bad thing. For me, ending stuff is not a bad thing. It's I can see even divorce as a happy moment for some people, at least. I'm not saying I'm willing to have a divorce with my husband right now. He's hearing me now. I'm super into having a long-lasting relationship, but if it would happen, I can imagine that it might be a good thing as well, in a way. So, and the same applies to friendship. But in the same time, I thought, like, if you really had something unique and precious with someone, then somehow losing it is a failure. So I have this thought, you know, contradictory thought, I would say, about that. And then I thought, when it's a failure, and I think the failure for me is when it could be avoided.
Okay.
'Cause if you couldn't avoid it, because I think the values are not something to avoid. We change as people, our value sets at some point. And if you notice, okay, my values are in total different box than yours, yeah, that's it. But I think if it just faded away because you didn't have time, that's a sad part for me.
Yeah. My contradictory thought on the back of everything we've just discussed is that this endings of friendships sometimes can occur before a real friendship is even born. So it's kind of putting an end to something that was very exciting at the very beginning, and it was supposed to become a friendship. However, life or whatever it is, different values interfere at an early stage, and then you put an end to that, and it never grows into something bigger. To me, it's like, you know, this curve, how, I don't know, indicating how startups die. So you're like, and then you just lose all the traction, and then, yeah, it's not a friendship, it's something else.
Okay.
Maybe
but
nothing.
I think I don't share sentiment here. Like, you don't even know what would happen. Like, that's just your imagination. If it didn't, you know, went to the second stage or the next stages of the friendship, it just your, you know, like, your view on that, your imagination going behind, you know, some expectations towards someone, and that person might never actually meet this expectation. I don't know, I can't imagine the situation when I will be sad after it. It could be great, but it didn't happen. I don't know.
My case here, so I was excited about a bunch of like growing friendships in a new place with new people, and I sort of made this informed decision to put an effort, and I did. And when I put effort, well, you know, I'm pretty good at being a friend, I think, and I was doing that, and then all of a sudden I realized, well, I mean, but I'm probably the only one, or others are not just as excited. So it's just like
So fuck them. So fuck them. For me, like it's
kindergarten
super simple.
situation,
I
right?
don't. Yeah, I don't understand. No, no, because like then you put. Okay, it could be such amazing stuff. It wasn't amazing. If someone didn't put an effort, then it was doomed from the beginning. And
Yeah, and still
there's
like it's
so
okay.
plenty
Probably it's
people
okay
waiting
to
for you.
yeah, exactly, and it's probably fine to just acknowledge the fact that okay, acquaintances are also okay in this case. So there's no drama potentially, right?
Yeah, we talk. I think on the very first episode about this different level of friendships. Yes, and
Yeah.
we actually do need all of them in a way.
What I also thought is that, well, I obviously went and, well, did this bit of research, and my research being just typing into Google, okay, why do friendships end? Very thorough. So one of the reasons that actually spoke to me was that you were just circumstantial friends, potentially. And this circumstantial thing is very much what I've been through in the past couple of years. I think because again, my circumstances changed a lot. So this circumstantial friendships, and I started thinking about that. And have you ever read the Russian classics from Alexander Pushkin, Yevgeny Onegin? So there's like I don't know, hidden, well, it's not that hidden, but the gem of Russian literature, and they force you to read that at school and then to like study it by heart almost. And there's an opera based on that, so everything. It's quite popular and famous.
We have Mickiewicz for that, so the
Okay, never heard of that guy. So we are well, we
we can
balance it out
exchange. We
nicely.
can exchange our classic literature.
That's gonna be
between us.
homework for next time. So in this
I like
Evgeny
it too much to
Onegin,
do it for you.
obviously it's taking place in in those times when we were very well posh bourgeois lifestyle was described very well, and like the social gatherings and everything, and people being barons and dukes and whatever it is,
And having the
so
balls.
yeah, and having the balls and everything. So that's that epoch. And I won't reveal too much of the plot because you'll still get to read that. But like this guy, Bon Vivant, the partying one, right? Evgeny Onegin. So he retreats to a very, very remote kind of a village, and he's bored to death. And then there's a line that says, well, and they became friends because there was nothing else to do. And I do think that that's such a marvelous statement, like to be friends because there's nothing else to do. So yeah, that's circumstantial, and sometimes that really happens, and I've seen that for quite some time now, and yeah, it makes me think about that a lot.
But when you mentioned this, I immediately thought about the movie, the Irish one. Oh my God, what was the title of this? It was the title I couldn't. The Bunches of Inisherin.
Oh, yes, with this weird guy who played in Saltburn then, and like he gives me all the creeps.
Yeah, but that was amazing somehow, because that was the revert of what you are saying. So two characters in the book you are mentioning, they became friends because they couldn't do anything else. And I think that in this story, obviously that's much more complex than what I'm saying right now, but they just stopped being friendships out of nowhere, I would say. And that was actually amazing. Like, can you grow when outside nothing seems like nothing has changed, and then you grow into the point when you say, I cannot stand you anymore.
Interesting.
Your jokes are not funny anymore. I've heard that people are saying that stuff about love relationship. I never understood how it goes to that, because I think there must be some more reasons for love relationship to go to that point when you hate how people eat. I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with the friendship, yeah. Maybe someone who's listening can share some story if they did
That'd be lovely.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, what are the other reasons you think? So my favorite one would be like this circumstantialness, and I mean, to me, the obvious one would be just growing apart because life changes, and that's a
I
broad
think
category.
yeah, that's growth category with growing apart. I like the circumstantial friendships, and I think for that I wouldn't be sad. For that,
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, it was needed and
it served the
appreciated when it
purpose,
happened. Yes, and
and
then
yeah, but
you
then you
move
have to
on.
be really okay with letting it go, because if you're
Mm.
not okay with letting it go, then you are screwed for quite a lot of time.
I think in growing apart category, there is subcategory of, and we talked also about this, is when you move from being child to being an adult, and you somehow lose friends from that part of your life, from that
Yep.
stage of your life, and for those friendship, and we talked about this, like I have friendships, they are still there. I know I can call them, and I think they think of me dearly, and I do the same towards them, but in the same time they are not present in my life, and I feel kind of sadness for that, but it's natural stuff, so I'm good about this.
Hmm.
I wonder what other groups we can have. Obviously the reasons your friends mentioned, so the toxicity,
Yep.
uh, or a conflict or something, unhealthy behaviors. And I think very often this is what happened in my case. The important point which you reach is, for example, therapy. And when I started doing therapy,
Okay.
and I wasn't, especially the last one, I think my last therapy, and if my therapist is listening to me, hello to you. Hi. I'm very grateful for this person to be in my life for some period of time. So I remember we talked that some of my relationship, during that period, during that therapy, started deteriorating somehow, and I couldn't understand. And I remember she said that I'm also changing.
Hmm.
For me it seems like something around change, but inside I also changed, and that was the reason. So because I changed, I couldn't handle some behaviors anymore, or I put some barriers or limits towards some behaviors. So I think there is this category of you changing, not growing apart, as like going to different cities, or you have new job and you don't have time, or you start having kids. It's more like at some point we change and we are not compatible anymore.
And you probably can't do much about it because that's
Mm.
just the course of life, and that's
Mm.
fine.
That was one of your friends said that I'm growing and the other person is not growing.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Oh, it's very, very judgmental. Um, but might be true in some cases. The other thing might be you are growing in a different direction. I think that's very similar to what's happening in love relationships. Yes, like
Yeah.
people are changing constantly, and I think it's very unique and very amazing if you happen to change in the same direction with someone. So yeah,
So I
yeah.
think the insight here really is that nobody is change proof, but
No.
if we want to stick together, then we need to find a way how to adapt and accept the change so that it's not hurtful but it's exciting.
I will send you my plan for changes.
Please.
How I'm going to change
I
in
will
the
sign it
next two
off
years
like fine with me.
are my goals.
So
I
yes.
do have goals for this year actually written down. I'm not sure we talked about this on the podcast, but I am a person with goals. I didn't do it for majority of my life, and now I do have goals for life. I wonder how it
But I
goes.
love it because this is the point where I start thinking like, do I have any goals for this year or like for I don't know the next week? And I'm like, okay, no, just to survive, really. So it's like
It's
different
a good goal.
things.
It's a good goal. I
A
would say it's a
lovely
good
one,
goal.
huh?
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
Mamma Mia, Jesus.
We do have prompts for this episode, as usually. I
Oh,
think
we
that's
do.
it's a good time to
And I came to Vienna,
bring
and
them.
actually, I hope that you appreciate it even more because I came to Vienna with just my hand luggage. And it's like that
Oh,
big. And what I took
oh,
with me
thank
was the
you.
present. So
Good.
now I
Okay.
will finally reveal what I have. I get a sense that this might be a book. This might be a book.
Okay, so I'm opening my. I'm doing, the sounds effects
The
here.
SMR. Fabulous.
What's that?
It's a weird one, but I have a very good
that?
philosophical
Broke.
explanation to that.
Okay, so the name of the brand. Can we use it? Can we tell it? Broken
Let's-
to Beautiful. Uh,
Well,
that's
talk about
that.
marketing.
Okay, that's about marketing, and um, I'm not sure how to take it. Broken to Beautiful.
Show it.
Okay.
Because I'm not
Kintsugi.
really sure that how. Okay, so kintsugi is this
Now I know
ancient?
what's that. Yes, I focus on the brand. I know what it
Yeah,
is.
stop focusing on the brand. It's
Good.
okay.
Oh
Do you have
no.
something broken?
Yes, I have something broken, and I think I just throw it away, and it was actually broken for many weeks, and I wanted to do it, but I never did. And I think most
Maria, go
likely
to
my
the bin
husband.
right now.
No, I did. I think not me. My husband did it because he has this
No.
urge to clean stuff. Not me, obviously not me. And but I think the act happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh no! But maybe he
Shit.
just hidden it somewhere. Oh no! I know what it is. I love it. I love it. I always wanted to try it. Amazing.
I think it's a pretty cool concept, right? So
I will
basically,
broke something. I will broke something so I can
please.
use it.
Now half of the house will be just crash and burn, please. Crash and burn on my behalf, darling.
Yeah, but
So-
please explain what it is. I think that's really nice stuff and also good idea for a gift. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, first of all, it's the nice thing because next time something gets broken, instead of being sad, you'll be excited. So that's like flipping the emotion around things. My theory, first of all, it's kintsugi. It's a Japanese ancient technique of gluing together something broken, like a vase or maybe a cup, with liquid gold, so that it gets back to being beautiful, yet you can see that it was broken once, right? And you have this gold, very, very sophisticated, smooth. Like
I
brushed
actually
gold.
spent last week some of my free time watching films on YouTube, watching some guy doing it because it's so good,
Unagi.
soothing for your mental health. So yeah, I love it. I really do.
Cool. But why I gave it to you as a present? Because I was thinking, okay, for this, well, quite serious episode, what could be a good healing thing to sort of symbolize that endings are sometimes really new beginnings? What I think here, this is not about a friendship. So it's not about breaking a friendship and then being able to glue it back together, and you will have all the cracks, remembering that once you, I don't know, did something hurtful and that will never repeat. It could be treated that way, but to me, the explanation I want to have today is that it's about you. You lost a friendship, you ended a friendship. Obviously, you were broken for a bit, but then you get back together, you analyze that as an experience, you become stronger in a way, you become, I don't know, you grow into something different inevitably. And I think that this is something to symbolize that there's a lot of beauty in that, and you need to acknowledge all the cracks. And inevitably, like, that's how it changes you, and then you just keep going further and further with your cracks being beautiful.
I like it. I like it very much. Yeah. So my gift will be one have such a warm note. It's more on the serious. No, both are serious, but
Okay.
Sound.
Actually, to appreciate my nerves even more, so Amazon Prime did a little hole here, so I could get a sneak peek of what it is, and I didn't, and I so
All
didn't.
right. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. That's what I needed. Okay, it is a book. Georgy Gaspadinov, one of our guys,
Yes.
Eastern Europe
Uh,
vibes, right?
Eastern Europe, yes, Eastern Europe, Belarusian, not
Oh,
Belarusian.
really?
Sorry, he's from
Bulgarian?
Bulgarian.
Georgy
Yes, he's
sounds
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian, right? The
Bulgarian.
Physics of Sorrow, translated from the Bulgarian by Angela Rodel. A quirky, compulsively readable book that deftly hints at the emptiness and sadness at its core.
Even though, even though I believe that endings are not bad, I think there is process of going through some
Yeah,
grief and this emptiness sometimes. And we talked about like not having friends as a reason for mental health issues and stuff like that. So there is sorrow attached to finishing friendship, and that book treats sorrow as I've never read anything like that, like the book that treats the sorrow like this one. And it's kind of magical realism. I think that's the genre.
okay. Wow.
uh, and yeah, and it touches sorrow from so many different angles. Like there is a beauty in that. Like, how can you describe what makes you sorrow, or what s- you know what level of feelings you can have inside of you. This is how I see this book, so that's why I wanted to give it to you. And yes, I wanted also to give it to you because this is from our part of
Yes.
Europe. Yes, the
Who knows
mentality.
more about sorrow than us people from Eastern Europe, right? I mean, debatable, but still,
Yeah.
the vibes. Cool. Oh, I
Mm.
love my present, and I hope you love yours. And I think that's very symbolic of everything that we discussed today.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm really happy that we had this conversation at a very early, at the very, very early hour of the day. I mean, I was dying
Yes,
when we just
I'm
started.
again proud
And
of
now,
you. But to be
thank
very
you.
honest, today it's usually I'm the one. Yeah, yeah. Let's start doing stuff earlier, earlier than you, because I'm not the very early bird. I'm just waking up a bit earlier than you, let's say. But today was
Yeah, because I'm just stretching like people's ability to wake up at normal hours.
yes. But today in the morning, I was thinking maybe Ira will tell let's not do it today. I overslept
Really?
or something, and
You
I
know
can have
what?
1 more hour of sleeping, and it's 1 hour later actually on my side. So for me it was much easier than for you. But no, it's not. We are in the same time zone
Actually, we're
right
in the
now.
same time zone. But I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
make it any better for me, I promise. Also, just for you to understand how seriously I treat this and how, like, I'm scared of you potentially. I had a nightmare today, a
Oh
proper,
no.
lengthy nightmare, and I woke up remembering every single detail. And it's like in this Inception movie, you know, there are layers of your dreams. So my like extra layer, and it was so vivid and it was so lifelike. So you were there, and I
I was the
overslept.
I was the villain, yes, like
You were like bursting with anger because I overslept, and you were screaming at me. I had such good stories. And I was,
yeah.
I woke up in the morning to do the podcast, and you were not there. And I just, oh my God, it was, well,
Love,
just
never be
such a way
afraid
to
of.
wake up.
As my husband says, sleep is the ultimate value in life. So no. If you
Yes.
ever overslept for meeting with me, no worries. Like, this is the
Oh
reason
my
I
God.
can understand.
And this
But
is how
obviously.
you see your true friends with their great values.
Oh, yeah. But I do actually try to wake up earlier to have longer days. Because I'm getting older, Ira. I just thought I'm getting older,
I'm gonna
and
tell
now
you,
I'm
if you wake up
yeah.
later, You're aiming for later nights.
No, no, no.
That's fine. No.
Nights are no longer for me. No, no, no. Like
Oh
I
Jesus.
am
Okay.
I'm getting grandma vibes. No, like I dream of. So my goal is to start waking up at 5 to have longer days, so I can go to sleep at 10 p.m. Like this is what would be ideal setup for me. I just didn't get there because I like sleeping as well. So I can start at 7. That's the earliest. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking I envy people who start the day at 5. I'm at this point of my life. And this
Okay.
is how our friendship will end. Once we,
Like yeah, once you start waking up at 5 and
yeah.
I don't know. So I think the ultimate wrap-up message of today's episode is that sleep is the ultimate like value in life. Respect each other's sleep and each other's right to wake up whenever they want. Love your friends. Let go of friendships that you don't feel are working well because life is too short to keep that stuff and spend your energy on that stuff. And be this beautiful vase with all the cracks because the cracks are awesome.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. Go and have a nice day, guys.
Mwah.
Mwah. Thank you.
Shift happens.